This is an overview for the Grade 8 Puzzle Cube Design Project. What we're going to do in this project is we're going to create a puzzle cube using 27 1 by 1 by 1 inch cubes. So the end product should look something similar to this, but according to your puzzle design. Now, where to begin with this? This design needs to begin with this idea of starting on pencil and paper. We just don't go into OnShape and make parts randomly and hope that they fit. So where I started with was a 3-tier sketch. What the top view, the middle view, and the bottom view would look like. So if I took the layers and I stacked them right on top of each other and exploded that view, the top, middle, and the bottom. Now, it might be beneficial to use some type of cubes, blocks, Legos you have around the house to start visualizing this if you have a difficult time using just paper. But what you can see is, on my document here, I have part 1. Part 1 takes up the top 2 blocks in the upper left-hand corner. The top block in the middle layer on the up, and then the bottom layer, it takes up the bottom left-hand corner again with those 3 blocks. So what that piece actually looks like, we can see here in part 1, the red piece. I've just translated that into a simple sketch of the top, middle, and bottom layer. For another example of that, we can look at part 2. Part 2 doesn't appear in the top layer, but it does appear in the middle layer with these 3 squares. And then it appears in the bottom layer with these 2 squares. So again, looking back at my OnShape, I can see that my part 2, which is my blue part here, follows that same pattern. So what this sketch allows me to do is to see how my puzzle fits together. This is where we should probably start, just like we discussed in class. After creating this sketch, you're going to want to create your orthographic, your top, front, and side view. I purposely did this on lined paper and not on graph paper to show you, even with limited resources during virtual learning, all you need is a sheet of paper. I did it also with a pen in case you don't have a pencil at home, to show you that we can still get this done, and this is for the purpose of planning out each individual part. Once you have this idea that we're planning out each individual part, we can then take this to OnShape and create these different parts. However, if you again work better isometrically, you could take those orthographic sketches, and again, I purposely did this without graph paper, with a pen, to roughly sketch out the shapes of what my parts look like. I know it's not perfect, but again, this is done to show you what we can still accomplish during virtual learning. And if you take a look at my parts here and compare them to here, you can get the general idea from my isometric views. So if you're a paper and pencil person, after you do the orthographic sketches, it might benefit you from doing isometrics as we go into OnShape. So in conclusion, the first thing that you need to do for this puzzle design project is come up with a series of sketches, that 3-tiered sketch like you saw in the earlier portion of the video to help you design your puzzle pieces, then the orthographic views to plan out those puzzle pieces to something that you can translate into OnShape, and then ultimately, if you need it, you would go on to your isometrics. And those would be submitted as evidence as well, along with your screenshots of your OnShape parts.